My name is Debra Bacianga, and I'm a mold maker. I've been making molds for 14 plus years. What I mostly use for the mold making is Pottery Plaster #1, a really good quality respirator. But you want a good respirator that has a good seal around your mouth, and you want to have these purple filters. You don't want to breathe in plaster dust. And then I also use gloves because plaster is going to dry out your hands like nothing else will, whether it's the dry plaster or a wet plaster. And I use a good quality scale to weigh out the dry material. You use clean buckets. Always use clean buckets. If it has a residue of plaster in the bucket, it's going to make your plaster set up quicker, and usually you don't want that. This is a Jiffy Mixer. It's really smooth on the bottom. It's designed that way so it doesn't shred your bucket, and it's also designed like this to make all the bubbles float to the surface, so you have a really dense quality mold. You want to have some straps. I prefer the straps to rubber bands. I've seen rubber bands fail and plaster just spread out all over the floor. That never happens with a strap because they lock tight. You're going to want to have casting rings if you make a 2-piece mold, or even if you make a 1-piece mold and you're pouring liquid clay into it. The casting rings designate the thickness of the mold that you want. You want a good quality mold soap that is gelatinous like this. We sell Pottery Plaster #1, and that's the one you want to use for making slip cast molds. That kind of plaster is going to absorb the most amount of water, which is what you want for slip casting. Because it's so absorbent, it's also the weakest of the plasters. Thanks for watching, and check out our next video to see how I put a mold together. You can find everything I mentioned today at our online store, seattlepotterysupply.com.